talking Reds, Tuesday, January 28th, got the date right. First take again. First take Tuesday?
First take Tuesday,
no,
mate. We'll have to change the name.
I know. First time for everything. I'm Andy Heaton. This is Kev Walsh, as you know by now. Yeah, so it's come out this morning, Shrewsbury ticket news after all the big fuss over the FA Cup, you know, because people have got to moan, I'll be honest. But now Liverpool have addressed the situation by, instead of backing down, it looks like they're going to stick to the guns, but also at the same time, lower ticket prices to make it accessible to maybe people who might not be able to go. So they're charging £15 for adults, £5 for young adults, and £1 for juniors. No better time to get in there and see that to get the kids involved.
To be fair to the club as well, they've probably sold 35,000 tickets already with the Auto Cup scheme. So in reality, it's a bit of a big PR own goal not to lower the ticket prices, of course, but they don't really have to do it because people are sort of already saying that they've already agreed to pay the price of whatever it may be. Listen, if they were charging more than 15 quid for a game where it's going to be managed by Neil Critchley, I think questions will be getting asked, and £15 it's probably there or thereabouts, a sort of level where you go, okay, well I can get on board with that, and obviously it gives Shrewsbury a bit of a payday as well. But
it wouldn't have been so long ago whereas the club, whether deliberately or just because they're not aware of it, would have gone, all right, regular ticket prices, SOS would probably get involved, everyone would kick off, and then they'd end up lowering the prices anyway. So it's really taking a proactive approach to it for the change.
Well, it's just, as I always say, I've been a major critic of FSG whenever they've needed criticising, and I'll make no bones about that. But it shows that they're learning, and you'd imagine probably some of the appointments they've made along the lines of Tony Barrett and like the likes of him will probably have had a little bit of a guide on stuff like this. Like he might not have actually made this decision, but just the fact that he's there saying, listen, we need to be thinking a little bit more proactively rather than reactively when it comes to fan engagement, because listen, we're a city full of militants, so
no narcs, let's call it.
Yeah, absolute narcs, yeah, but that's what we are, that's what we've always been, and that's what we'll continue to be. And it's, listen, it works sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it's good that the club didn't need a kick up the arse on this one. They've sort of taken it and run with it rather than waiting for us to start moaning about it.
Do you think there's a kind of ripple effect where you're in a situation where someone at the club's phone keeps going off, so then he starts hassling someone, and he starts hassling someone, so it's like, you know, to save all the hassle, let's just do what's sent.
Well, yeah, but that's exactly why you have an organisational structure like that, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You don't want it to land in Boston before they make a decision like that. There should be someone in Water Street there who goes, yeah, listen, we've got to make the right decision. Let's keep the PR battle going, because that's what it is, and it's a constant PR battle until the day they sell the club. They'll be in a PR battle to make themselves look better, and that's absolutely fine. That's what all owners should be doing. But on this one, fair play to them, a nice easy win, and they've taken it.
And also, the Echo report on the Liverpool are going to speak to Shrewsbury about their share of the money, because obviously they are entitled to a piece of the gate.
50%, isn't it, in the FA Cup?
Yeah, but obviously with them lowering price, obviously Shrewsbury you'd imagine being involved in that discussion. So if there's a further concession for them on behalf of the club, so they don't suffer, then even better. Fair play.
Yeah, of course.
Off the back of that, the FA Cup draw was last night. We're being drawn away to one of the worst grounds in the league. I hate it. Stamford Bridge for the victor. So even more reason for me to play for us to play the under-9s.
It's funny, isn't it? Like I hate going to Chelsea as well. It's a horrible ground, horrible fans. We haven't got a great record. In fact, we've got a better record there more recently, but throughout my Liverpool supporting career, it's been a bit of
It's just horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it isn't a nice place to go. We've not had many good times there, but it's a Wednesday night as well, isn't it? Or Tuesday or Wednesday. It's a midweek game. I've made my thoughts clear on the FA Cup. I think it's been a dying if not dead competition for a long time, since Man United didn't even play in it in 2000 to go to the World Club Championship. Theoretically, every game you play, you want to win. But a bit of me's thinking, would I be overly bothered if we didn't beat Shrewsbury, like played an under 23s team or whatever it is, and avoided the trip to Chelsea? On the flip side of that is, obviously, if you do beat Shrewsbury, and then you're like, well, we've got to play this game anyway, you beat Chelsea, it's the quarter-final, so I can see both sides of the argument, and I have softened a little bit. But what I would say to anyone is, Jurgen Klopp makes these decisions, and he hasn't got anything wrong so far in his Liverpool managerial career, so basically, what he says goes for me.
See, I'm a little bit on the other side, joking aside. I do want to win the FA Cup. I'm kind of... It's kind of a weird one, but in this age now, this internet era, social media era, you've got to have an opinion. You're not allowed to not have an opinion. But I'm kind of on the fence with what went on with the post-match comments in Shrewsbury. I understand why he said it. I understand the point of it. I don't vehemently disagree or agree. But at the same time, if we can get through, you know, it's a trophy we want to win, if only just to, you know, it keeps on course for, well, what United have called the classic treble, because obviously we're going to win another European Cup.
Fingers crossed, mate.
Win the FA Cup, hopefully win the league, and we'll see where we are. And if you line that with the Super Cup, the Club Cup,
a quintuple, yeah. Listen, obviously I'd rather win the FA Cup than not, but by the same token, Jurgen Klopp looking at this in more of a long-term view. Jurgen Klopp's not necessarily looking at this year going, we need to win the league this year, so let's sacrifice the FA Cup. I think in his own quiet moments, Klopp will admit the league is over, it's ours now, we will win the league this season. I think what he's trying to do now, forget about all that, we should be fingers crossed, touch wood, we'll be 22 points clear by the time Man City next play, so if that's the case, I think even Klopp might actually come out and say it then, but what he's doing now, he's not battling for this season's FA Cup, he's battling for future seasons when it comes to players' welfare and players, like look at Harry Kane, obviously he's not a Liverpool player, so we can take a little bit more of a neutral view on it. It's clear that the injury he suffered has happened because of the amount of football he's had to play over Christmas. So what Klopp's saying is, you're absolutely bladdered for the Christmas period, and he's actually said before about trying to maybe cut that down or get rid of it. But for most football fans in England, that's probably our favourite time of the season. I know it's certainly mine. I love that he's
protecting the integrity of the Cup, or are you protecting the integrity of the League Championship?
Well, the League Championship, but also you're protecting the players. I'm not that interested in the integrity of the Cup. The integrity of the Cup is ruined.
No, but what I'm saying is when football's pretty much governed by money and the product is the Premier League. And I know what you're saying about the players and the fitness and all, but if players get injured, then doesn't that lessen the offering of what's on the pitch? I mean, sorry to talk about it so cold and bluntly.
But that's what it is though, when he's protecting the players. And listen, the other problem it's got is the FA are running one competition, the Premier League are running the other, and then the Football League are running the League Cup. And people are not talking to each other and they're not working together. In fact, it feels like they're actively battling each other half the time.
Not to get on my hobby horse about it, but you know, I kind of find it ironic all these talking heads talking about the disrespect of the FA Cup.
While being talking heads at the same time.
How about, you know, not scheduling other games, messing around with the final, sorting the trains out, making it more accessible, making it easy for fans who actually want to go.
Not having Andy Peters doing the draw on the one show.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, you talk about devaluing the competition, have a look in the medal, lads, a little bit. Anyway, last word on the Shrewsbury. Second looks out, talk about an in-depth game of the tie, sorry, get me words out, is a little clip.
Mo, I actually thought to start the game, you know, Fuad's mentioned a few of the young lads there. I actually thought they started brightly, to be honest. There was a few sort of miscues early on from Fabinho and Matip that I sort of noticed, but you didn't think they were going to harm Liverpool, particularly in the game, because, you know, the likes of Nico Williams, Curtis Jones, obviously Chirivella's pass for the goal, Curtis Jones scoring the goal. I actually thought for the most part they started really well.
They did start really well, and you could sense that they had carried that confidence from their previous performances into the game. All of them were keen to get on the ball. They, like you said before, they looked like they knew at that point in the game what their directives were and where they expected their teammates to be. Nico Williams in particular, I really like the enterprise energy he shows, but he does have the ability to get back in as well, which obviously is going to be absolutely necessary if he's going to continue his career as a fullback. But what you get sometimes with young players and what you get sometimes with players coming back from injury is that they can play well up to a point and then fall off a cliff. The problem is that it wasn't a cliff, it was just a big chasm in the middle of the ground and everybody just fell into it at the same time.
Yeah, Fuad, you mentioned Harvey Elliott there before as well, and I sort of thought, you know, particularly with the pace thing you mentioned as well, I thought that was what Liverpool sort of struggled with without having that pace out wide. And I think Nico Williams at times wasn't on the same wavelength as Harvey Elliott because he was sort of playing balls in behind, and Harvey Elliott kept turning around and saying, play it into my feet, this is where I'm best.
Yeah, no, completely. I think Harvey Elliott's kind of performance, I guess, sums up what Mo's just said, really, in terms of he did start brightly, all the signs that we've seen from him the last few games, but then the kind of young player in him came out towards, I think, the end of the second half when he did get taken off. So, you know, this is all part of their development. This is all the sort of stuff that the manager wants, and you know, in a way, this is another huge opportunity with the replay for them to right kind of the wrongs in that game, because they all know that they can give much better than that. Even the young players, you know, themselves, you know, they haven't got to where they have got within this squad by just kind of accepting kind of mediocrity.
Yep, and we're back. So yeah, second look, get involved, have a look at the video available via the app or the website. Top value as ever. Gini Wijnaldum, breaking me out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm mine as well, mate.
And I don't know whether it's a negotiate. I mean, it's one of them. The quotes, they're not very definitive about his future. you know, whether there's been rumours about contracts and not being offered one, or, you know, there's been one forthcoming. And it's now getting to the stage where you're getting a little bit worried about it. I mean, I'd like to think the reason why they're being cagey is that they're actually talking in the background about a new deal, and maybe it's not, they're not, one side is happy, or maybe both of them are just at a kind of an impasse. But it'd be a terrible shame to see him move on, because I think he's been one of the most important Liverpool players of the past 18 months.
Yeah, he's an architect of this team, of everything that it does culturally, but also on the pitch as well. I think the more I thought about it, because in my head it was just a given that Gini would get a new contract, but that's because we all love him. But then you think, I had a look at what money he's on, and the rumours are between 75 and 90 grand a week, which is a lot of money in normal terms, but in football terms for a player of his ability is nothing really. So
half a give Sigurdsson.
Well, exactly, yeah. So you must look at players like him and think, well, where's my go with that? The other problem with that is he's 28, 29 years of age. He probably wants a 4-year contract on 200 grand a week maybe, which if he was 2 years younger, you could make an argument to give him. You can see why the club may be just a little bit shy about going to that type of money. So his agents probably said to him, listen, don't make too much out of any comments you're making, but don't be saying you'll sign for anything either as well, because Eriksen's just gone to Inter Milan, hasn't he, for 320 grand a week.
What?
320 grand a week, rumoured to be. So even if it's somewhere over 250 grand a week, Gini Wijnaldum's probably looking going, I'm a much better player than him, and I can probably command better wages than him. Yeah. So for him, he's probably, as much as we all want him to be Liverpool players forever, he's got to be thinking this is his last big contract, because it is.
So I've got a bit of a theory on this.
Go on.
So I mean, the name Barcelona keeps getting thrown in. I mean, why sign for that shite? I don't know. But you know, they have got a history of looking at Dutch players and signing Dutch players. But I also think quietly the club are looking to get Virgil van Dijk tied down to a new deal. And I think a lot of what Liverpool do after that is then speaking to the likes of Wijnaldum, etc., and getting them nailed down. And it might even be a case of Wijnaldum sitting there knowing that, I mean, bear in mind, you'd assume that Van Dijk and Wijnaldum are quite tight with Dutch contingent and whatever, you know, and players talk. So you don't know whether there's an element of, well, I want to sign a new deal and I want X, and Wijnaldum's going, oh yeah. Is that right, yeah? Because let's be honest, football is a business, and you're the nail on the head. As much as you like to think that, you know, all the players love the club and they play for free, alarm call, you know what, they don't.
Of course
business is business.
The thing with Virgil van Dijk is he's just signed a new contract, hasn't he, on 200 grand a week, and we're already renegotiating another new contract, which is going to set him probably more towards 300 grand a week. Liverpool are probably looking at Gini Wijnaldum in a position that he plays and the age that he is, and the worldwide acclaim that he gets, because that's part of the thing why Virgil can command bigger money, because he's a bigger household name, and he's probably going to be on half of that, whereas you go somewhere else and maybe get the same money. But he's earned that right to do that by becoming a European champion, by winning the Premier League this year, hopefully, by winning another European Cup as well. And the thing with that is, if he goes somewhere else, you can sort of hold your hand up and say, listen, you can understand why he's gone for his last big payday. But by the same token, as a Liverpool fan, I don't think it's time to let him go. I think he's got three, four more great seasons in him. And the thing is, he's only improving as well. Hopefully this is a negotiating tactic, but it may be one of the few times where you see Liverpool negotiate with more of a harsh business eye on the deal than you do a football line, because they probably look as well and think, maybe we can get in a younger midfielder and who can do a similar job. Listen, if we can do, fair enough, and we can all shake hands, but I really hope he signs a new contract.
I don't think there's a world if Liverpool make an offer that he's happy with that he doesn't sign it.
No, of course, 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that offer for Wijnaldum might be north of 200 grand a week to make him happy, which he can get somewhere else. And don't forget, it might not just be him. He's talking to his agent, and his agent saying, Gini, listen, we've had a lovely time here and it's been great, but this is your last big deal, and these are offering you £4 million a year, less than you'd get if you went to Inter, if you went to AC, or whatever it might be. Now, listen, Wijnaldum might say, listen, I'm not that type of player, I want to stay here, I want to win European Cups, and I'll do it for 150 grand a week. 150 grand a week's not putting no one in the poorhouse, is it? Do you know what I mean? Even in years to come. But by the same token, if it is a negotiating tactic, he's got to think of himself as well as Liverpool. Yeah,
I mean, I personally believe and hope that it'll resolve itself. So, watch this space on that one. Right, questions. Okay, so question from yesterday, and remember, we've got a question for the Anfield Wrap. Leave it in the comments and we'll answer one in the next Talking Reds, which will be tomorrow, I think. Question from yesterday. Question for Knobhead Tuesday. We're actually getting called by our official title now.
I like it. Some people have been asking for Knobhead Tuesday merch as well.
No K though.
I'm okay with that.
What do you reckon?
Well, we're international knobheads, aren't we? So if it's case
International knobheads. All right, sound okay. If you woke up tomorrow, it doesn't say who's asked this question, but anyway, if you woke up tomorrow and LFC had disappeared into the ether, who would you support instead? The correct answer to that one is no one. I just pack it in. I just couldn't be bothered. Because what's the point? Because they'll never, ever be the same. Might go watch Marine once a month.
I'd go and pick someone. I used to ask this question all the time. I used to say before I had wife and kids, I'd just pick a European team and go and watch them once a month. You know what I mean? Like a little St. Pauli joint or something like that.
TNS?
No, definitely not TNS. No, but I think my answer would probably be City or Liverpool. I think I've been down a few times to watch them. Boss atmosphere down there, and it's football. Like you sort of like you hark back to the olden days of it being lovely, and listen, you can take the piss out of the players on the side of the pitch. Marina like as well, but I think
I've heard Vesti Road described as many things, but never quite lovely.
Yeah, not by opposition fans, but it's sound down there. You go down, it's mostly lads from the match anyway that you see.
You can get a bevy and all that.
You can have a bevy at the side of the pitch. So that'd probably be my answer. I'd go for City, Liverpool, and up the pips.
Well, Marie for me. Crosby, innit?
You can be a Wool, I'll be a proper Scouser.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. I was going to say, hang on a minute. Setting the boundaries. That's a whole other 3-hour show, by the way. So that's been Talking Reds for today. Shop, annually sale is on, doing all kinds of merch, loads of discount going on. Our live shows in Ireland are on sale, send them out, get in there now before they go. This has been Talking Reds. I've been Andy Heaton, this is Kevin Walsh, up to Reds.